Хто йде в Макдональдс?
Я пошла.
У мене щось не вийшло. Кіно десь...
Вчора вам пустили дуже багато.
Де мені... Без основи там.
Я дивлюсь на цей.
Так, я перейшла повністю. One specific organization
Я звикла так працювати. Дякую.
Для історії.
Вип'ємо вже зв'язку. Я не хочу. Жирі, я не хочу. Так, я навіть бачила. Включаю, я пішла власне. Я не сломаю, потому что я боюсь открывать это рыбу. Еще больше. Не, ну напаковывай.
Из-за того, что они сделали это игровом движке, они это приятно, потому что они сейчас снимали в этом месте, без сцены. Ну окей, если там...
Я не знаю, как там бедные
Good evening, dear guests. Today is the last day of Mrija International Film Festival, but also it's the 101st day of full invasion in Ukraine. That's why I want to remind you why it's so important to support Ukraine and remind you about our partners. It's Ukrainian Art Foundation, who is supporting artists in Ukraine right now. And you can find QR code with their organization near all our posters. Also, I want to say thank you to our partners. It's Embassy of Ukraine in Belgium, Civil Society Club, and Cinema Vendôme.
And I would like to present our international documentary program. Today you will see 5 documentary films from different countries, and after the screen we will have the Q&A with our guests, with participants who came for our festival as directors of films The Straight Between Us, From Norway with Love, and What I Will Not Forget. Thank you. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
What I Will Not Forget, Ines Corrit and Teva Dullard, and director of film from More With His Love, Laura de Bodrin. Oh, Laura, how can I pronounce your surname? I'm sorry. Yeah, Laura, I really like it. So, come here.
And I'm going to ask our guests to ask questions for the directors.
So, firstly, I would like you to tell a few words about your works. Maybe something interesting or something like the hardest parts of your work. Let's start from you and then
few words. I made this film. I'm the director, Laura, of From Moving with Love. I made this documentary during my master's studies at RIT, film school, just like you. We were together in the same class, actually. This, along where will I start? Like, this all began with the house of my grandmother, who always lived in Wilbeke. She passed away and the house got bought by a big plant company owner, and that's how I really discovered the whole company, the whole industry that goes behind the many plant companies that are actually, there are already 7 plant companies in this small village, Flemish village, and they mostly come from Eastern Europe. So that's how I bumped into this reality and how I met Marga. Voilà.
So I'm a director for The Street of Us. Also, I'm from IT. It's from my 3rd year's exercise. It was during the Corona, the pandemic. Like we can hardly do things outside, and I came from Taiwan, so I was always a bit linked to there. And I had that moment that I was a bit more with the manifestation and like the thing with China, and I had a conflict with my father, and so I want to write a letter to him. So that started a thing, and then we started portraits to visualize it with the archive image and the 8mm footage we filmed afterwards.
Oh, hi. We're the directors of What I Will Not Forget. We met at school, a minor in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and we didn't know each other. We both had a film plan, and we chose Ava's because Yuri is her uncle, and Yuri is just a wonderful person who is really, really creative despite his dementia. But he's very funny, very clever, and just really, really nice to work with, and we had a weirdly nice time filming it. I think, I don't know if you want to say anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah.
I will support you with this mic. You can ask questions right now, and I will support you with this microphone. So everybody can.
So, does anybody have some questions about films?
Well, I have a great work from all of you. It was very, very nice to see your work. But I had a question for Laura. How was it for you to film, also in Poland, but in general with someone who speaks Polish. And you, I guess, who don't speak, how did you do it?
Actually, there was a really challenge. It was challenging. But I should say, actually I couldn't have made this movie without Eva, because Eva was at that moment an exchange student at Ritz, and my initial idea was more to centralize it around the house of my grandmother. But then, long story short, I changed. They weren't really, I was the one who was asking them, like, we're young people living in the house of my grandmother. So I changed subjects, and then I visited all these companies, and I met Marta, and the communication was already very hard. It was with Google Translate, and then I worked a lot of hours with them, and the more I worked with them, the more fluent the communication was, because it was just like, we had there was so much time to just take that time and try to understand each other in many ways, and it also was a nice way to connect with her, because we both weren't very comfortable in the language we spoke, and we didn't share a language, so it was a nice way actually to connect while I worked with them. And then I met Eva at the right moment, because she was actually a student, like I said, and then she was willing to join me into this project, and then we were a lot together. We actually spoke also a lot about Ukraine, because Marta lives just next to the border. And then Eva also wanted to join me on the ride to Poland, and we did this together, and it was very nice, because I was asking a lot to do translations and also at the same time do sound. And so I couldn't. I don't think I was able to make the same movie without Eva. Thank you. Someone else has a question?
So thank you for the movies, they were really touching. And I wanted to ask about the movie The Straight, We Will Not Forget. Maybe I mispronounced the title, sorry. But I was just wondering if your dad actually saw the movie, and what did he say? Or if you told him that you're making a movie about him, like just about your relationship with him.
Actually, he knew I made a movie, and he knew the process, but he hasn't seen yet the result, because I was still afraid. But he was quite encouraged me to make a movie, but maybe because of the conflict, so I'm still trying to prepare myself to show him.
I didn't see it.
No.
And did he read the letter? No.
Some part, but not all. But I try to, because it's kind of like a word I want to say to him. I still try to find another way to say, but not the same exactly. I think that's it. But I think I will find a way to show him when it's in a good context. Any other question?
So I have a question about the movie about Yuri. I saw this guy making art. How did you manage making a movie about the guy with disease, and how open was his family to work with you, to cooperate with you in this process of filmmaking?
Well, because it's her uncle, the family was quite open. And I think they were very happy to have a movie of him. Also to watch when he's not there anymore. To see how creative he was and how he could talk and how funny he was. So I think they were very open. And I think it was, for us, it was quite easy to get close to him because she knew him and she knew how to react, and well, I didn't, so it was quite hard for me, but I think because she was so normal, I just acted normal as well to him, and that's why he was normal back to us. But you could still know that he has dementia, because sometimes we did an interview for like 2.5 hours, and I think 10 minutes of the whole interviews we can use because we just didn't know what he was saying, and that's the beauty of it, and it was also very funny. So it's not really that bad, but it's quite hard sometimes, and he would just say, because I'm very, very tired, can we just stop? So it was also quite hard to film with somebody with dementia, but it was also quite beautiful because he just said anything to anyone, and he just is very artsy and very creative, so he could just say something out of the blue but make it very, very beautiful. So yeah, I think it was quite nice. Did you say something?
Yeah, I think we also had to spend a lot of time with them without cameras. Like we started filming and then we said we were not filming, so that we captured like the beautiful moments, the natural moments. So I think that's really important with making films in general, but also with making films with a really sensitive subject to, yeah, if you want to get closer, you have to spend a lot of time and be really patient. Where with dementia, you have to be really patient. Sometimes he was going to sing a song in German, like randomly, and we were like, thanks. So yeah, it was really, we had a lot of fun, but it was also sad sometimes to get so close to my family. But yeah, it was good.
Thank you both. Thank you so much for the participation. All your movies are so sensitive, and I personally liked it. It was the last day of Mriya International Film Festival, and I'm really grateful for all of you that you spent 5 evenings with us. Right now we will have a small closing ceremony continuing before screening, and see you next year.
Более масштабные, больше людей, и я думаю, вы вырастете у вас хороший вкус, вы выбираете всегда потрясающие фильмы, очень здорово. Вы видите.
Answered it, but I mean, didn't answer it. But my question was, you were saying something that maybe is a bit controversial, that you feel Taiwanese and not Chinese.
Yeah.
And my question would be, if you had shown it to your father or to your family, what would you have expected their reaction to be? I mean, what their reaction were, but now if you haven't shown it, what do you expect their reaction to be?
Because for my father it will be difficult to accept.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's the reason I was a bit quiet to keep peace.
Okay.
But yeah, he will the other way.
Documentary international categories, because that goes like everybody feels great in the festival, is
I took it as something a bit like I'm the same with Zolan Abramovich. Like I always take pictures with Zolan Abramovich. Everybody thinks that way they We're always like parking together with each other. We see each other like.
I'm surprised. Usually you're all the time around like small boats, beautiful Ukrainian women. So I'm really surprised. That I know her is obvious. It's more than obvious.
You also know all the Ukrainians.
I know everyone. That's true.
So why don't you read?